Yesterday we discussed the introduction of the survival analysis, sensor data, as well as concept of the survival analysis data, and the type of statistical method used in survival analysis. So there are three methods. Those are used in survival analysis. The first is live table, second is Kaplan-Meier method, and third method is Cox regression model. So Cox regression model, another name is Cox proportional hazard model. So yesterday we discussed the live table analysis. That is another name is actuarial live method, and see major difference between live table and other method. One method is live table, other two methods are Kaplan and Cox method. So major difference between live table and Kaplan Cox is that in the live table, first we decide a interval, and for each of the interval we calculate the survival probability of the patient. But in the Kaplan-Meier method and Cox regression model, here we can't decide the interval. Interval is automatically decided by the event. Matlab after each of the event, the next interval is starting. So here, so Kaplan-Meier method and Cox regression that today I have to discuss. Kaplan-Meier method is the univariate analysis, and the Cox regression method can be used as a univariate as well as multivariate analysis. So now main objective of the Kaplan-Meier method is comparison of probability of survival between two or more groups. If we have two or more groups, our objective is to compare the survival probability between the groups. We have to use Kaplan-Meier method. But disadvantage of this method is that it can be used as a only univariate analysis. It cannot be used as a multivariate. So here, so in the Kaplan-Meier method, here we have to compare the survival probability between two or more groups, and in the Kaplan-Meier method, first we calculate the mean and median survival probability of each of the groups. Then by the statistical method, that is the log rank test and Breslow method, any one method out of both, we have to calculate the p-value, and p-value by using the p-value, then we will able to say that whether survival time of the patients are statistically same or different between the groups. So see here, Kaplan-Meier method, it is used to compare the probability of survival, and survival is also here in the survival analysis, it is also called time to event analysis of the patient between two or more groups. It is used to calculate the survival time, mean or median. Usually mean and median both we are presenting, but median in all the position, median is not possible to calculate. I will show you in the appropriate time in the slide. So mean is always coming in our analysis. So median sometimes it is not coming. So but if both are coming in our output, we need to present both. So it is used to calculate the survival time, mean and median of a group of the person for a given time. So first we decide the study duration. So that mean and median time, usually it is also called event-free survival time of a group of the patient or person for a given time, and given time means study duration. Survival probability of the remaining patient are changed after happening the each of the event. Means after happening the each of the event, remaining patient survival probability is changed. It means after each and every death or event, remaining patient survival probability is changing. In Kaplan-Meier method, comparison in the groups are performing using Lagrange test, or Breslow method, whichever is appropriate. So there is two methods in the Kaplan-Meier method, because method name is Kaplan-Meier method, but this Kaplan-Meier method calculate p-value by using some another method, that is the Lagrange and Breslow test. So Lagrange and Breslow test, these are the within the Kaplan-Meier method. This is the part of the Kaplan-Meier method. So, and if we need to calculate the p-value, it means first we have to decide whether we have to use Lagrange test or Breslow test. So Lagrange and Breslow, at which situation we have to use Lagrange or Breslow test, I am going to discuss in the next slide. So in the Kaplan-Meier method, p-value is calculated by using Lagrange or Breslow test, whichever is appropriate. So first come on the Lagrange test. So Lagrange test, that is the part of the Kaplan-Meier method, is a hypothesis test to compare the survival distribution. Distribution means data. Data means distribution. So Lagrange test is a hypothesis test to compare the survival distribution, survival time or probability of survival between two or more groups. So Kaplan-Meier method uses to compare the survival time or survival probability between two or more groups, and the same thing is doing by Lagrange test. So it is a hypothesis test to compare the survival distribution, survival time or survival probability between two or more groups. It is a non-parametric method. It is a very important and interesting point that it is a non-parametric method, because Lagrange test further calculate the p-value by using chi-square test. It means Lagrange, Kaplan-Meier calculate p-value by using Lagrange test, and Lagrange test calculate p-value by using chi-square test. So, and chi-square is non-parametric method because it is not comparing the mean, it is compare percentage. So other than mean comparison is called non-parametric method. So it is a non-parametric test and appropriate to use when data are right skewed. It is a good when events are maximum in upper half. अगर मतलब स्टडी के स्टार्टिंग में जब ज्यादा इवेंट हो जाती है, तो इट मीन in that situation Lagrange test is not much more appropriate. But see when first basic course classroom, so it means when if it means it is a good when most of the event is happening, means 50% time pass होने के बाद, it means upper half. If in most of the event is happening in the upper half, then this type of situation, in that situation Lagrange test is the better method to use to compare the to calculate the p-value. And in case most of the event is happening in the lower half, and if lower half, then in that situation also Lagrange test is not giving better calculation. This test is also called Mantel-Cox test. Breslow test, that is the another alternative method of the Lagrange test, should use in place of Lagrange test when censored observation are not present or approximately negligible, means less than 5% in the data. So in any data, if censored observation are less than 5%, in that situation we have to use Breslow test other than Lagrange test. So there is a two possibility, either event or censored. So event like death is event, so other than all situation, all Lassa follow-up or survival, everything is called censored. So for any data set, if censored cases are less than 5%, in that situation, Lagrange test is not giving perfect proper p-value. So in that situation, we need to use Breslow test. And another situation is that if lower half maximum event has been happened in the happening in the lower half, in that situation also, although we can use Breslow test, but it is not mandatory. So Breslow and Lagrange test major difference is that if less than 5% censored cases are present, then we have to use Breslow test. Otherwise, all other situation Lagrange test can be used, because Lagrange test is very powerful method. So why, despite little bit not appropriate situation, although we use Lagrange test, so here it means okay. So here it means we have to, there is a difference. First is Breslow test, that is used when less than 5% censored observation is available, less than 5% censored cases are in the data. Otherwise, all the situation Lagrange test can be used. Steps in Kaplan-Meier method. When we are going to apply the Kaplan-Meier method, there is a various steps. So these steps we can follow to ultimately use the Kaplan-Meier method. I have taken an example. So see here, suppose in an example of the 56 localized kidney cancer patient. Patients were divided into two groups. First group, their patients were divided into two groups. Group 1, all are diabetic person. Group 2, there are control are non-diabetic person. Now our objective is to calculate mean, median, survival time, event-free survival time of the diabetic and non-diabetic persons. Survival time of the diabetic and non-diabetic person. 1 minute. So in a study of 56 localized kidney cancer patients were divided into two groups. First is diabetic patient and group 2 control or non-diabetic patient. So there is a two groups. Now 56 localized kidney, there are two groups. Now our objective is to calculate mean, median, survival time. Mean, median, survival time, that is another name is event-free survival time of the diabetic and non-diabetic person. So here our objective to calculate the event-free, like situation death-free survival time of the death-free means that is the survival. So it means now our objective is to calculate mean, median, survival time of the event-free survival of the diabetic and non-diabetic person. So in this situation, our null hypothesis, what will be our null hypothesis is probability of survival of the localized kidney cancer patient are statistically same between diabetic and non-diabetic person. So there is a diabetic and non-diabetic person, and because in the survival analysis, our objective to compare the survival time between the two groups, like in this example, diabetic and non-diabetic person. So null hypothesis is there is a no statistically difference in survival time between diabetic and non-diabetic person. So null hypothesis is there is a no statistically significant difference in survival time, or you can say that the probability of survival of the localized kidney cancer patient are statistically same between diabetic and non-diabetic persons. So here, and see, it is a null hypothesis. Alternative, what will be alternative hypothesis? Alternative hypothesis is there is a significant difference in survival time between diabetic and non-diabetic person. Means an alternative hypothesis, there is a significant difference, but null is there is a no significant difference between diabetic and non-diabetic person, because this is the example is diabetic versus non-diabetic. So here for every in the biostatistics or statistics, we know that p value, what is the p use of the p value? P value only, there is only one use of the p value, that is to test the null hypothesis. If p value is significant, we have to reject the null hypothesis, and if p value is not significant, matlab insignificant, then we have to accept the null hypothesis. So if we accept the null hypothesis, it means null hypothesis statement will be our result. Null hypothesis statement will be our result. But in case we accept, matlab we reject the null hypothesis, alternatively it means we are going to accept the, it means alternatively we are going to the alternative hypothesis. If null will be rejected, it means alternative hypothesis will be accepted. Now I have taken example. I have taken example of the see here. I have taken example. Okay, so example of data of Kaplan-Meier method. So I have here presented here data of 56 patient. Those patient follow-up time is given. And whether they are diabetic and non-diabetic status is also given, and another is whether status, matlab death are censored. Either patient died, if died, so what was the follow-up after that patient was achieved the death, and another is what was the follow-up after that patient censored. So see, this is the first patient. 7 months was stay in the study, and after 7 months patient was diabetic and patient died. Another patient 9 months overall follow-up, patient was diabetic and ultimately died. Third patient 12 month follow-up, that patient was diabetic and ultimately either loss of follow-up or at the end of the study patient was survived, or patient changed the hospital, or patient died due to any other cause that was not related to, in this example of the kidney cancer patient. So like this is the follow-up of the 56 patient, whether they are diabetic or non-diabetic is given, diabetic or non-diabetic is given, and those diabetic and non-diabetic and status are also given. So like these are the, we have 56 patient data, and this 56 patient data, and after the, say this is the SPSS, almost it is the SPSS output, and in the SPSS same type of output we are getting, we can get, and here this is the just a manual calculation to understand how survival probability is computed. Now see, first patient follow-up 7 months, and here estimated cumulative survival probability of this patient is 95.2%. Matlab 0.952, it means after the end of the 7 month, patient survival probability, remaining patient survival probability is 95.2% or 0.952. Okay, and see here, because in the diabetic group, this is the diabetic group, in our study there were 21 diabetic, 35 non-diabetic out of 56 patient. So here in the diabetic group, first patient died here. Here first patient death is reporting. So it means remaining patient are 20. So 20 by 21, 20 by 21 is remaining patient. But how many patient died is 1 here. So 1 by 21, that is the 0.048. It means in this group, out of 21 patient, 1 patient died. So probability of death is 0.048. Here probability of survival is 0.952. It means here probability of survival of this patient is मतलब after death of first patient, remaining patient probability of survival is 0.952. So after this death, remaining patient survival, cumulative survival probability is 0.952. Say this is the next after 2 months, matlab 9th month, here 2 patient died. Sorry, one in the 9th month of the follow-up, this patient was died. So this patient was died after 9 months of the follow-up. It means कि earlier one patient died, now this another patient died. So it means out of 21, earlier one died, it means remaining 20. Again one died, it is remaining 9. So here it means out of remaining 21 patient died, so 1 by 20 is the 0.050. It means in the particular this group, probability of death is 0.05. Remaining probability is 1 minus 0.05 is 0.95. Yesterday I told you cumulative probability is calculated present group survival probability multiply by previous group cumulative survival probability. So 0.95 into 0.95, that is equal to 0.905. And third patient she died, so it means out of 19 one patient died, so this is the survival death probability. So remaining 1 minus this is survival probability of this group. And so cumulative survival probability of this group is this multiply by this multiply this is equal to 0.857. So this is the cumulative survival probability. And see, next patient censored, so it means it is not died, so probability will not change here. But here next patient died in the 19 month of the follow-up. So it means ki see, up to here 17 patient is remaining. How? One patient, second, third, fourth, and is 21, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 21 minus 4 equal to 17. So here 17 patients were remaining, one died in this group, 1 by 17, 0.059. 1 minus this equal to 0.941. So this multiply by this equal to this. So this is the cumulative probability of survival of the patient. Okay. So by this way software calculate whatever we are getting, same thing is given here. So ultimately for our point of view, just I wanted to show you how to calculate this probability, but because we are using the software, so we have no need to know these things. But this is the conceptual things, and if we know, then we can real world situation we can understand what do mean by this cumulative probability of survival. So software presenting this up to here software is presenting to us. And see, similarly non-diabetic group, this is the non-diabetic group follow-up status and estimated survival probability is calculated like the diabetic group. And see, this is the 35 patient is in this group. There are 35 patients. Now another output is coming. See here in this output, diabetic were 21 patient, 13 event, matlab 13 death. The remaining are 21 minus 13, 8. So 8 is censored. It means 8 other than event all are called censored. So this is the censored observation. This is the censored observation. And see here, so 21, 8 and 8 by 21, it is a 31%. Similarly, out of 35 person in the non-diabetic group, 8 died, matlab 8 event. The remaining are 27, the 27 by 35 is 77.1%. Now out of overall 56, 21 event. It means this 21 is 37.5% of the 56. And if 21 death, it means 35 remaining and that is the 62.5%. Now come on the mean and median survival time. So see here, diabetic group mean survival time is coming 64.5 month. Non-diabetic group it is coming 100.5 month. And irrespective of the diabetic and non-diabetic, overall survival time is mean survival time is coming 85.6 months. And now 95% confidence interval is this and this, lower limit and upper limit. Similarly, for the median, diabetic group median survival time is 41 months. Non-diabetic group could not compute, I will tell you. And it is a total overall, irrespective of the diabetic and non-diabetic group, median survival time is 78 months. तो मतलब इसका हुआ कि डायबिटिक ग्रुप 60 इवेंट फ्री सर्वाइवल टाइम इज 64.5 month. It means कि if person is diabetic, that kidney cancer patient is diabetic, it means average 64.5 months is expecting time for survival. And if it is a non-diabetic, it means 100.5 month average survival time. And in the overall, irrespective of diabetic and non-diabetic, if both status is not given, then it is a 85.6 month overall is expecting. Now come on the here, see mean event-free survival time of the diabetic group 64.5 month. Lower limit is 41 month, upper limit is 87 month. That means that although in our study we are getting 64.5 month average event-free survival time, but this is the result of one study that we conducted here. And if we can conduct a similar study of 100 similar study on the same sample size, then out of those 100 study, 95 studies, our this event-free survival time may be 41 month or 87.8 month or in between any value. मतलब हमारे स्टडी का ये रिजल्ट है, but other 100 में 95 study, this value may be vary between this range to this range. मतलब lowest in any study it is possible 41, maximum is possible 87.8 in 100 95 study out of 100. So this is the range of the 95 study of the 100. This is the range lower and upper. So this is called 95% confidence interval of this value. And this value always will be lying between lower limit and upper limit. And see, median survival time of the diabetic person is 41 months. इसका मतलब हुआ कि if person is diabetic, 50% patient will die on or before 41 months, and remaining 50% patient will die after 41 months or after the 41 months. So there in diabetic group there are 21 patient. इसका मतलब 21 का half लगभग 10 patient है. So it means 10 patient will die 41 month or before, and another 10 patient, almost 10 patient will die after 41 month or after the 41 month. 41 month may be included in both sides. So you see, this is the lower and upper limit. And see that lower and upper limit is also given here, 3.4 to 78.6 month. Now see, this is the diabetic group. Non-diabetic group median survival time is not coming. If median survival time is not coming, that is good. It means in that group, patient never cross the 50% survival time, less than 50% survival time. It means if patient survival is coming down of the 50%, then only median survival time is computing. So see, this is the our output. See this is the our output, and see this is the non-diabetic group. So non-diabetic group, here survival probability 97, here was 93, it was 90, it is 86.5, 81, 74, 65 and 54. So see, lowest survival probability is reporting 54.4%. It means 50% is not achieving. Why this group? Median survival time is not computed. But in the diabetic group, see here, this is the diabetic group, survival probability 54, and here we are achieving 50%. 50% is falling here. 0.484, it means just before it is falling. So in this group 0.48, so this corresponding follow-up time 41 months is the median time of the diabetic person. So this is the, because here 50% survival is falling here. So why this corresponding follow-up is the median follow-up time, a median survival time of the diabetic group. So by this way we can calculate mean and median survival time, and see this is the graph is coming. So in the green color it is showing the non-diabetic group, and this is the diabetic group. See here, since initial, this is the starting point. Since starting, we can get the quite different graph plot between two groups. And see here, this is the good survival time is showing. See, this is the survival time. So here is the good 100% survival time, 90%, 80%, 70, and it is a 20%. And see here, there was 80%, then up to end of the, this is the 30 month of the follow-up. In the non-diabetic group, survival probability was 90%, but in the same time, for the diabetic group, it was around 60%. And see here, this here, at the end of the 70 month, non-diabetic group survival probability was around 50 to 53%, but in the same time, diabetic group survival probability was around 40-41%. And after this point of time, see here, survival plot is remain same, and here is also remain same. Reason is that in the diabetic person, this is the non-diabetic person. In non-diabetic person, no mortality or no casualty was reported after the 70 month. After the 70 month, okay, around 68-69 month. Similarly, in the diabetic group, no mortality was reported after 82-83 month. So if there is a no mortality is reporting, it means remaining patient survival probability is remaining same up to end of the end. So Lagrange test p value is 0.045. This is the significant, and here we have used Lagrange test. Reason was behind this is there was at least 5% censored observation were present. Why we have used here Lagrange test? Interpretation of the above p-value, probability of survival between diabetic and non-diabetic group are significantly different to each other. It means diabetic might be a factor for the survival of the patient. So see here non-diabetic, इसको हम इस तरह से भी लिख सकते हैं कि there is a significant higher survival time was reported in the non-diabetic group as compared to diabetic group, and that difference was found to be statistically significant. It means कि diabetes, having a diabetes is associated with survival time of the patient, and see whether diabetes is a factor for the survival or not. This is the Kaplan-Meier method. And it might be possible that diabetic person, those, because diabetic person are showing lower survival, diabetic person are showing lower survival, non-diabetic are showing better survival, and it might be possible that diabetic were showing lower survival, reason behind they were older age group. And non-diabetic, they are showing better performance because might be due to the low matlab younger age group. So it means ki here whatever we are getting the uh, here result, that might be affected by some factors like age. So it means age is working as a confounding factor in this result. And it means because Kaplan is univariate analysis, so here we can't adjust the any factor. So to manage such situation, to manage the confound, if also adjust the effect of the confounding factor, we need to go for Cox proportional hazard model or Cox regression model. So because Cox regression or Cox proportional hazard model can be used as a univariate as well as multivariate analysis. So limitation of the Kaplan-Meier method is it is mainly descriptive, cannot control covariate or confounding factor, require categorical predictors. It is required a categorical predictors. Now come on the Cox regression model. So Cox regression model, advantage with this model is here P can use categorical as well as quantitative independent variable. But see in the Kaplan-Meier method, we can use only categorical independent variable like diabetic, non-diabetic, that was categorical. And if age in running data is given, then we can't use Kaplan-Meier method in that situation. So Cox regression had various advantage over the Kaplan-Meier method. But because Kaplan-Meier method is providing the mean and median survival time, etc. So that's another application. So it means if we want to adjust the factor also in the survival time, we need to use Cox regression model. So we can understand the relationship of covariate with time to event probability of survival by this example. I have given an example. Does weight, insulin resistance or cholesterol can influence the survival time of my patient? So it means whether these factors are important for the survival for my patient. Similarly, suppose we have two patients, both had experienced their first heart attack on 1st January 2021. This is the one of the, just see here, question. Can we say that both patients will die on the same day or both patients have an equal probability of death in next 6 months? Matlab both patient first attack was on 1st January 2021. It means ki we can't say this patient next heart attack or survival probability is exact 6 months for both. Reason is that there is a various factor, those are influencing the survival, including their comorbidities, risk factors, as well as treatment, as well as age, demographic factors like age and the other anything. So these other things are also important for the survival. So it means just it means कि there is a various factor, those also need to adjust when we are assessing the survival time. If two patients have severe diabetes, can we say that both heart patients have equal probability of survival for next 5 years? Matlab even both are severe diabetic and even both are similar age group. It everything is same, even similar treatment, anything. But because there are some known or unknown factors, due to the survival probability are varying patient to patient. Now, main purpose of the Cox regression model is to estimate the effect of covariates, effect of covariate on the probability of surviving of the patient during the follow-up time. Through this model, we assess the effect of association of the covariate, matlab independent variable, on probability of survival in terms of their hazard ratio and significant level. So in the binary logistic regression, earlier I told you बाइनरी लॉजिस्टिक का अल्टीमेटली फाइनल आउटपुट इज आर्ट्स रेशियो, binary logistics. Similarly, in the Cox regression model or Cox proportional hazard model, final output is our hazard ratio. तो अल्टीमेटली पूरा कॉक्स रिग्रेशन एनालिसिस करने के बाद हमें क्या मिलता है? hazard ratio and 95% confidence interval of the hazard ratio and p value. So only these three things we are getting in the ऐसे आउटपुट ऑफ द कॉक्स रिग्रेशन मॉडल. तो हम बोलते हैं कॉक्स रिग्रेशन वी आर गोइंग टू यूज, बट अल्टीमेटली वी आर गेटिंग ओनली थ्री थिंग्स: hazard ratio, 95% confidence interval, and p value. Similarly, in the binary logistic, ultimately we are getting only odds ratio, 95% confidence interval, and p value only. So it means ultimately, so Cox regression model ultimate use is to compute hazard ratio. Hazard ratio interpretation is just like odds ratio. So here steps of the Cox regression. When we are applying the Cox regression to run this model, follow-up time, outcome of interest, covariate, quantitative or qualitative required. So when we are applying this model, we need follow-up time, outcome of interest, and covariate, independent variable. Independent variable may be quantitative like age, BMI, height, weight, etc., hemoglobin level, and see here, but qualitative, that is like gender, diabetic, non-diabetic, or risk factor present or absent, anything developed, not developed, cured or not cured. So like this situation, everything here, if there is a two possibility or more than two possibility, also can be covered in the qualitative variable. Okay, so here qualitative and quantitative variable both can be used here. Risk factor is calculated in terms of hazard ratio. If covariate or qualitative, then risk in one group is presented with respect to another group. Like अगर हम categorical है तो हम कहेंगे male have इतने time chances to having death as compared to female, and like this. For categorical covariate, suppose gender male female hazard ratio is 1.5. इसका मतलब हम बोलेंगे it means probability of death in male is 1.5 times as compared to female. For quantitative covariate, but if all variable is not qualitative, someone is quantitative also, so its hazard ratio can also be used to test the effect of covariate and probability of survival. Suppose BEAT hazard ratio 1.02 for the BEAT, and BEAT is given in kg. It means when BEAT is increasing 1 unit in kg, 1 unit मतलब 1 kg, corresponding hazard is increasing 2% as compared to earlier. तो earlier ये hazard ratio is 1.02, हमेशा इसमें से 1 माइनस कर दीजिए तो it is coming 0.02, 100 से मल्टीप्लाई करिए तो it is a 2%. It means it is 2% increasing after increasing 1 unit in the independent variable. So I have taken same example repeated in this Cox regression model. 56 localized kidney cancer patient, and see here same, this is our data. Follow-up time, diabetic, non-diabetic, sorry, here is diabetic, non-diabetic, and status death are censored are given. Blood urea, nitrogen, calcium, hemoglobin, and age in years are also given of the those patient. अब now this is the 56 patient, first 19 patient, then 19 patient, and then this. So overall 56 patient data are given. 56 patient data are given. Now we have to, our objective to calculate the independent predictors of the survival time of the patient. But see here we have taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 group, मतलब diabetic, non-diabetic, blood urea, nitrogen, calcium, hemoglobin, age. So we have taken 5 independent variable. So it means in these 5 independent variable, which is the independent predictors. Independent predictors मतलब after adjusting the effect of other variable. So out of these, it means whether it might be possible all are independent predictor or someone is independent predictor. and someone ultimately will be excluded from the model in multivariate analysis. तो मल्टीवेरिएट एनालिसिस में जो वेरिएबल हमें मिलता है, those variable is only called independent predictor. In univariate analysis, just we assess the association, and association actually might be true or might be not true in univariate analysis. But when these variables are coming finally insignificant in multivariate analysis, then they are actually called independent predictors. And after applying the Cox regression analysis, so this is the output. See here, diabetic patient, hazard ratio is 2.5, lower limit, upper limit, and p value is this. इसका मतलब diabetic person है 2.53 times chances to having death as compared to non-diabetic person. P value is significant, lower limit and upper limit. But see here, blood urea nitrogen is also coming significant. It means it is a significant risk factor is coming. A significant risk factor is coming in univariate analysis. Here, calcium is also coming significant independent, significant risk factor, not independent risk factor, significant variable in univariate analysis. Calcium. Hemoglobin is coming insignificant, whereas age is coming significant. So out of 5 variable, 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5. So except hemoglobin, all 4 variable are found significantly associated individually with survival time. तो इसका मतलब हमें univariate analysis be achieved 4 variables. Next is we need to test these variable in multivariate analysis to find out the independent predictors of the survival time. So independent multivariate model में there is a various method to test, and when we use backward like the logistic, so here finally see blood urea nitrogen calcium and age, these are, see these all 3 variable are coming significant, and earlier model when all 4 were included, this was coming insignificant. When this was excluded, then all 3 are coming significant. इसका मतलब है हम बोल सकते हैं in the final model urea nitrogen calcium age are significant independent variable, those affect the probability of survival of the kidney cancer patient. तो हम यहाँ पे बोल सकते हैं कि blood urea nitrogen calcium and age, these are the independent predictors of the survival time of the kidney cancer patient. And see, there is a limit. Always every study have limitation. So it is not limited. There are only 5 possible predictor of the kidney cancer patient death. मतलब survival. There are many other factors also, but unfortunately we could not collect the data. So why ये analysis is considered good if all possible associated variable data are available, then actually we are able to calculate the independent predictors of the our outcome variable. So this is the model C, and after adjusting all these significant predictors, age, urea, nitrogen and calcium, so see here, this is our survival plot. And see, initial patient survival plot was this, and after various time points, see this is the survival plot is showing. And see, after 82 month there was no mortality was reported in the study. So last assessment of the survival probability was 0.47 at 82-83 month. Later no assessment, no mortality was repeated. It means it is understood, since here survival probability will be this, straight line will be carry on. Okay, so this is the probability of survival. And now come on the important point of the survival analysis. अब survival analysis की हम बात कर रहे हैं, तो it means survival analysis cannot be used without the 3 information. First is follow-up, and second is our outcome of interest like death and censored. So follow-up and outcome variable, minimum 2 variable is must, and if both are available, then we have to think about survival analysis. Except patient with event of interest, rest are called censored. Live table, Kaplan and Cox, there are three methods of the survival. There is three methods of the survival analysis. Okay, sorry, video was off. So live table, Kaplan and Cox regression are three methods of analysis of the survival data. If our objective is to calculate probability of survival of a group of the patient for next many certain time intervals, we use live table. तो मतलब live table का application है, we have to calculate the survival probability of the patient for each of the interval, that interval is decided by us. Now, if our objectives compare the survival probability between two or more groups, we need to use Kaplan-Meier method. Lagrange test and Breslow, these are the two methods under Kaplan-Meier method. Lagrange test should be used when at least 5% censored cases are present, otherwise Breslow to be used. If our objective to identify the covariate factors, those significantly influence the survival probability of the patient, we need to use Cox proportional hazard method. Cox proportional hazard model, minimum data are required. Here minimum data are required. Follow-up time, outcome of interest, matlab death are censored, and third is at least one independent variable. And one independent variable, that independent variable may be categorical or continuous data. Covariate independent variable may be including continuous data, a categorical, any type of data we can include as independent variable. Continuous covariate should be approximately normally distributed. Here in independent variable, those continuous quantitative variable we are including, it is a good if they are normally distributed or they have less variation. But in case they have more variation, so we have to use these variable after converting into log normal value, log scale. Or other thing that is the more practical, that practically we are doing, those non-normal quantitative variable we have to convert into categorical variable. Like age is given, and if we think it is a non-normal, so then we can divide the age like less than 30, more than 30, less than 50, more than 50, or 0 to 30, 30 to 50, more than 50. So like this, we can divide the data into categorical form so that we can avoid the log value. Because log value actually are changing our data. That is, interpretation is difficult. In Cox regression model, if only one covariate is available, that is called univariate, and more than one independent variable are using called multivariate analysis. And in multivariate analysis, only we need to include such variable, those are significant in univariate analysis. So this is the final. If you have any question, please ask.